Come and fly away with me. Come and fly away with me. Come and fly away with me.
Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I missed y'all. For all my returning subscribers, you guys already know, gang, tribe is in this biatch. And for all my new subscribers or my new viewers, make sure y'all subscribe, like, share the video, because we finna tap into our infamous story times. So I've never done this before. I've never sewed with y'all, but a lot in the comments, I said a lot in the comments, a lot of y'all in the comments have been telling me y'all want to see me sew a lot more. And then I've been getting a lot more orders on my website, shop.deharasnyc.com. even though I know a lot of new stuff haven't been there, but people have been ordering stuff, and people have been inquiring on my Instagram about specific items they've seen on my page, and I've been allowing them to place those orders as well. So today I'm going to be recreating this look. This is my furkini option, and I'm redesigning it, so it's gonna look a little more different than this. So I'm excited because I just got all the new rhinestones and diamonds, and I love working with those things. So yeah, let's get started. Before we get started, y'all, we are still on the road to 5K subscribers, and you guys know I'm giving a 5K giveaway for my most consistent subscribers. So even if you were consistent in the beginning and you kind of fell off, I'm still gonna have you like in the voting poll and determine and stuff. So I'm just, I just want to give back to you guys, and I'm gonna give y'all like a nice little like package. Like, I'm gonna film it, but y'all gonna get y'all package before I post the filming. All right, I got y'all. But nevertheless, today we're having a story time, and you already know, when I say the story starts off like this, you guys know the story's gonna be what? The story's gonna be motherfucking juicy, okay? It's gonna be juicy, okay? It's gonna be juicy. Is it gonna be juicy? Yeah, it's juicy, it's juicy. But I'm really telling y'all this story, no cap, because I'm trying to put a lot of stuff behind me right now. And this was one of the situations that kind of happened where I'm a little indecisive on how I should deal with it. And y'all give me such good advice in the comments. Y'all already know I interact with y'all in the comments. I read all the comments. I comment back on everything. And I wanted to kind of like get y'all insight and point of view and advice on how I should proceed, because I want to close this chapter in my life, and I want to take like the high road or the low road. I don't know which one. I'm like in the middle, so I'm gonna need y'all help. So let's get into it. Let's get into it real quick. Y'all already know I quit my 9 to 5 recently, so I've been waking up early and sewing. This morning I woke up and made all my pattern pieces, and now I'm just sewing them and pinning them together before I start embellishing them with the ostrich feathers and the diamonds. So this story time is going to be about one of my high school friendships. So I already gave y'all one story time, the time I got assaulted. Like, my friends, one of my best friends' husbands tried to RAP me when I went to go visit them. And she was aware and complicit in it and whatever. You guys, I don't want to get into that, but you guys know that story time. If you haven't tapped in, tap into it so you can know what I'm talking about. But we're going to be talking about another person that's in that friendship circle that I was in high school. So in that friendship circle, it was about 5 of us, including me. So the first person we already talked about was Goldie, right? In that story time. A person that I really want to talk to y'all about, I'm gonna name her from now. I'm gonna name her Africa. No, that's not what I'm gonna name her. Why would I want to name her Africa? Because she's from Africa? That's dumb. Damn. I'm gonna name her Cairo, right? So Cairo, I really want to talk about Cairo because Cairo was a destiny swapper. She was the first or second one I ever dealt with, but she was bad. Like, and I only realized that she was a destiny swapper like many years later, but we'll tap into that story time. If I have time today, after I'm done delivering these outfits, I'll tap into Cairo. Another story time I want to give y'all about that friendship circle is It was something so small that turned into something so big. And what I'm gonna name her, I'm naming them now because they're gonna come up in this story time. So we have Cairo, we have Goldie, who was the accomplice in the assault. We have Cairo, who was a Destiny Swapper hater. The other girl in the friend group, we're gonna name her Dejanay because her original name was so ghetto anyway, so Dejanay is another ghetto name. We're gonna name her Dejanay Jackson, not just Dejanay. And then the last person, I'm going to name her, she reminds me of, who she look like? We're gonna call her Isis. I'm gonna just call her Isis. I don't know why I came up with Isis, but all the other names, I just felt like it sounded stupid. So we have, this is me. Okay, call me Queen Mrs. Bitch. Okay, HBIC this motherfucker. Oh, I'm chatting. So in the friend group, it's me, it's Goldie, it's Mobe, Dejanay, and Isis. Okay, so remember those names, okay? Goldie, Mobe, Dejanay, Isis. So we talked about Goldie. Today we're talking about Mobe. Y'all, why I lost track of the names, like alright, so I had to run back and remember the names. So the reason why I lost track of the names is because I missed out on one person, right? So we're gonna go over these names again because I'm gonna give y'all a story time. So I'm Miss HBIC. Let me stop saying that. So we have Goldie, we have Cairo, we have Dejanay, and Isis was like an extended member of this group. She was like kind of friends with all of us at different levels, but she was never primarily a part of our group because she didn't go to the same school as us, but she was a part of the group in a way. But all right, those are them. The person I'm going to be talking about today, I'm going to name her Mobe because I went to Montego Bay, Jamaica, and she's from Jamaica, and Mobe just sounds like such a fitting name. I love that name. So I'm going to name her Mobe. So it was, I guess you can say, 6 of us. Like I said, Isis was extended member, and Mobe is who we're going to be discussing. Mobe and I would say, had the longest running friendship out of this whole circle. Like, me and all the other girls fell out over the years through our own personal situations. And they've also fell out with each other too. It's not like everybody's friends still. Right now, I don't know who's friends with who anymore, but me and Mobe were the longest running I had out of that friend group. I really never had anything like, you see how all the story times I've been having were about like really like envious, jealous, hateful friends. I never had those experiences with Mobe, which is the reason why I had cherished our friendship a lot more than all the other friendships. And I had let a lot of stuff go under the radar and wasn't trying to look at it in a funny way because I appreciated that she never made me feel that way. Like, Mobe was the type of person, like, if we're going out, I put on heels, she's gonna put on her sneakers. She don't care what I'm wearing. She doesn't care what I'm doing. Was such an individual. She had her own, like, style, her own everything, and she never really cared about what anybody else was doing, which I loved about her. It's so nice to have a friend who is just an individual. You know, you guys, I crave that so much. Like, because every time I meet friends, they want to live in my skin, and I hate that. So Mobe and I were friends throughout all my little friendship breakups, and Dejanay, remember I mentioned her as one of the friends, and Mobe were actually real life cousins. They were family members, and they actually like grew up as sisters in the same household and everything. So when Dejanay and I fell out, I was surprised that, like, not even surprised, I was kind of like appreciating Mobe for staying in some way genuine and still remaining my friend, even though that was her cousin. But when me and Dejanay fell out, it wasn't like I did anything wrong to her. Like it was like we had a stupid argument and it escalated, and other people that weren't supposed to be a part of it made it bigger, and it was something like that. It was just something stupid. But it still had like a lot of juice to it. But I'll tell y'all that in another story time. But Mobe still treated me like, you know, she still was my friend, right? So I guess since we didn't have a lot of, well, no drama in our friendship, there are little things that I'm going to bring up throughout the story. But outside of those things, there were no dramas. So I'm gonna just fast forward to earlier this year where the drama actually began. So like I said, please listen up closely because I'm gonna need y'all to drop in the comments. I don't know if I told y'all already, but I need y'all point of view. I need y'all insight on this story time because I want to close this chapter. I want to move on. So y'all gonna tell me how I should like deal with this situation. So sometime last year, Mobe becomes pregnant, and she's having a baby. It was a big surprise to everybody because Mobe was that type of person where she never even used to really date. Like, she really hated men. She never used to date. And it was just like, she was such a private person because even though she stayed out of drama, she was a very nosy person. So she used to always say something like, oh, I'm living vicariously through y'all. So she used to be up front and center for the drama, and she used to think everything was funny. Because remember, she was the friend I was talking about in the story with Goldie, where I told you I FaceTimed my friend, our mutual friend, to tell her what was going on. But I really didn't like how she always stayed neutral. Like, even when something bad was happening, like, I just felt like, y'all, like, they tried to assault me and you're kind of just like regular about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody reacts to something different, but I just feel like if it was my shoes and I had a mutual friend being assaulted by another mutual friend, I would like, staying neutral would kind of go out the window for me. Like, I'm not saying that she needs to go and attack and bash the person, but like, damn, like, you're not going to speak up, you're not going to defend, or I don't know. And that's why I always kind of felt about Mobe. I felt like through a lot of the shady stuff that the other friends in the circle used to do towards me, she used to never really stand up for me. She's just remained neutral, which I respect in a way. But like I said, a friend on the fence, I don't know if I ever told you that, guys, this, but someone who's on the fence, are they really your friend? You feel me? I just feel like nowadays, if somebody's on the fence, just stay over there. Because I don't need to be questioning whether you're going to support me or have my back in any regard. Like, I'm going to have to question Mobe in this story time, right? So like I said, Mobe becomes pregnant. It's like news to everyone, but I'm the last to find out. I'm the last to find out. But I've also been friends with you for 15 years. So me being the last to find out was always weird to me. And not only that, it was just always weird. Like, they would have so many like different like surprise birthday parties. Mobe had a surprise birthday party, or planned different engagements, or like literally I live so far from them and they would come into my part of town and have dinner and stuff, and they would invite me. I would have to see it on Instagram. And when I would hit them up and be like, oh, why didn't tell me y'all was coming to these side of towns or whatever, oh, we didn't think you wanted to come, and blah blah blah, like they would always leave me out the equation. And I just felt like, damn, all the disagreements outside of Goldie happened when we were in high school. Goldie and Mobe are the only friends that I had for so long after high school. And we had, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, the rest of y'all holding on to like high school shit. Like, it wasn't even that deep. So I just felt like, even when I would press them about it, and they'd be like, oh, well, you know, you and Dejanay and all this stuff. And I'm like, girl, that was in fucking 2011, like 2013 or something like that. Like, girl, like, I don't even like remember those days. Like, I don't even, like, I remember why we fell out, but it was just like, I was just thinking, like, is it really that deep? You get what I'm saying? Like, but if people want to, you can't tell people how mad to be. But I felt like the stuff that they had did, I should have been still mad too. But I just wasn't, because it wasn't that deep. So I say that to say that even though Mobe was staying in a sense neutral, I just still felt like, all right, you staying neutral when y'all all doing outings and all that stuff like that. Cool. Cool. Whatever. Cool. Play the fence. Cool. But how am I the last to find out that you're having a baby? Not only am I the last to find out you're having a baby, the only reason why I find out was because literally, I remember that day so vividly. I'm about to tell you, I live mad far from them. They all live in the same borough. I live at least an hour and a half away. One day, I guess they were on my side of town. Remember, they never tell me when they're coming over here. And then they just rang the bell. And then I was like looking at my security camera, and I'm like, oh shit, it's Mobe and Goldie. Like, what the fuck? I ain't see them in months. Like, I don't remember the last time I seen them. And they came by unannounced, and I'm like, oh shit, like, what's up, whatever. They're like, oh yeah, we were in the neighborhood, blah blah blah, we stopped by to see you, check you out. Oh, ever since you were with your boyfriend Trini, you done forgot about us. You moved out of town and forgot about us. And I'm like, y'all don't be inviting me nowhere, so don't try to flip the script, because I went and got a boyfriend and just started doing my own thing in my own crowd, and y'all was, you know, like, gatekeeping y'all little affairs, like, you know what I'm saying? But you know how people try to flip the scenario. But nevertheless, they all saying all that extra stuff, like, oh, blah, blah. So, you know, I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm talking to them, I'm vibing with them. And then, you know, Mobe is like, oh, well, you know, I, you know, would love for you to, like, my birthday's coming up or whatever. And, I'm also going to be having a maternity shoot, right? So I would love for you to make the dress for me. So I was just like, maternity shoot? Like, what? That's crazy. Congratulations, whatever. I'm looking to the side at Goldie in my room, and I'm like, you knew already? She's like, yeah, I knew a couple of weeks ago. And I'm just like, girl, if you're about to have a maternity shoot, that means that, like, you're far along. So I'm just like, let me see your stomach. So she, remember, it was winter time, she wearing a coat. I ain't see her in mad long. It's not like she got fat in the face. She opens her jacket, the girl showing, like, she showing. So I'm just like, oh, so you been pregnant. Like, and I understand keeping your intimate life like a secret. Sometimes you don't want to share stuff like your pregnancy and stuff in case something happens. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand that, but I wasn't no regular person. Like, I had a long-term relationship with you. Even when I wouldn't communicate with Mobe as often, I was in communication with her mom. Me and her mom used to be very, very close, because her mom was like real fashionista, real Ray Jamaican, and we shared a lot in our fashion style. I don't know if you guys haven't realized, but I'm very colorful. Like, I love pink, yes, of course, as my base color, but when it comes to like designing and being creative, everything has to be colorful. So me and her shared that kind of design aspect together, so we will still connect and stuff like that. So it was just kind of like, I wasn't no regular person. Like, you could have told me, like, especially before this, because I feel like now you only came to ask me about making your maternity gown, and that's when you had to tell me, like, you know what I'm saying? And then Goldie's sitting over here and she already knew. You feel me? Like, y'all get what I'm saying? But still, I'm not even looking at it as a shady way, because I'm still happy for her and I'm congratulating her. And now I'm literally the only person out of the friend group in high school that has not had kids. So I'm like, damn, like, I thought I was going to have a kid before Mobe, but just not in my cards yet. That's not for me yet. It's just not. I don't know when. Soon. But who knows? But nevertheless, so I'm just happy for her, whatever the case may be. I'm not thinking anything of it. Yeah, I'm just a little like, oh, okay, I'm the last to find out, but whatever. So she's like, yeah, you know, mind you, it wasn't like this was like far along. Like, her maternity shoot was like a month away when she came to my house to tell me about the news and ask me this, right? But like I said, Mobe wasn't a person who was shy about knowing people's business. Even though she wasn't a part of the drama, she was a part of the drama. So whenever something was going on, she was always front seat. She would always call to ask questions. She's like literally like with her popcorn, like, you know what I'm saying? So she'd be involved in that capacity. So I just felt like, you all up in people business, you want to know everything about all of us. Like, you know all of, and I kind of realized that, like, Mobe knew all of our dirt, all of our secrets, everything we used to share in private messages and all that stuff. But we really ain't know nothing about Mobe. She kept her life very secret, which was her prerogative. Like, can we blame her for, you know, respecting her privacy and her boundaries and us not respecting ours? But then again, it's like, girl, don't pry into my life and ask me so much questions and be front row about my shit if you trying to gatekeep your shit. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, so I'm just like, okay, you know, like, you know, who's the dad or whatever. So she's telling me whatever the case may be. But apparently they were already having issues and they weren't really progressing in the best way during the pregnancy. But none of my business, right? But that factor kind of plays into the situation moving forward, but you guys will see. So she's showing me ideas of what kind of dress she want and stuff like that. And y'all, she wanted something extravagant. Like, she was saying that she don't want the ordinary fluffy baby shower maternity thing that all the girls do. Like, she wanted something that was a lot more like elegant and high class. And y'all already know I used to design maternity gowns. Like, if I have some pictures, I'll put it right here. But I used to design maternity gowns. So she already knew she came to the right person. So, you know, we breaking down all this stuff. And I'm like, girl, you could have came to me a lot sooner. Like, to have this done in a month, like, I would literally have to move around my entire schedule. So she's like, okay, you know, no worries, or whatever the case may be. Like, do it to your capacity, like, whatever. So I'm just like, all right, I'll do it for you. So now when we start talking pricing or whatever, I was like, you know what? Since it's your birthday, I'll give you the dress you want. All you got to do is buy the fabric. Because the way it was sounding was like, I wouldn't say that she couldn't afford the dress, but when I started like putting out prices out there, like, she was kind of just like looking and like, oh, but you're my friend type of thing. And at that point in time, I was a people pleaser. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to please my friend, like, especially we all haven't had the you know, been friends and seeing each other and all this stuff. I'm like, you know what, like, I can do something nice for my friends. So I was like, you know what, just buy the fabric, whatever, and that can cut your cost so that you can still be able to do all the other stuff that you want to do, whatever. So she was like, okay, great, I appreciate that, whatever the case may be. So y'all, I was hounding her for like at least 2 weeks, like, let's go buy the fabric. And she's a very picky person. When I went to go fabric shop, she didn't like any of the stuff I picked out. So I told her, how about you come with me to the fabric stores and we pick something out. Y'all, we went to the fabric store. Now it's like giving like maybe a week or 2 weeks before, like 2 weeks, not a week, 2 weeks before her maternity shoot. So I'm just like, girl, you have to pick something out because I'm not going to have the time to make it if you don't. Y'all, we spent the whole day in the fabric garment district and she didn't find anything she liked. Like, she was legit being so picky. And I just felt like, girl, I'm already designing this dress for free for you. All you got to do is buy the fabric. Why you got to be so picky? I just felt like at that point in time, she really wasn't respecting my time. I just felt like you got to remember, things that are not paid for or earned are not respected. So once the price point of a maternity gown at this short period of time went out her head, that's no longer expense, she no longer respected the process. Because how will you come to me a month before? We've been friends for 15 years. You come to me a month before, and then I find out a month before, and then now you've been procrastinating the past 2 weeks, being picky, being fucking pregnantzilla, and then now we're 2 weeks in advance, and you still expect me to do this turnaround, make this dress happen for you, and you're not being like, you're not working with me. You feel me? See, talking to y'all, I messed up my stitch. I gotta pull it out and do it again. Because I hate when my stitches are not neat. Like, that's my biggest pet peeve. I hate crooked lines. I hate crooked lines. Makes me itch. So we finally find fabrics that she do like. But they're expensive as... Okay, I'm talking about the fabrics that she like. Were upwards, the lowest priced one was like $125 a yard. And if we're talking gown, and the design that I came up with, the one that she wanted, we're talking gown, the fabric alone for that dress was going to run her at least minimum, we're gonna need at least 6 to 7 yards. So do the math. So we're talking at least almost $1,000 after taxes just for the fabric. Mind you, she wanted beaded fabric only. Beaded fabric cannot be sewn on the machine. The only way you can sew beaded fabric on a machine is if you literally have to design the patterns to the T of the body, cut out the beads from the seam line, seal the beads that you cut, and then re-sew that seam line and make sure that it fit perfectly. And we're talking about, we're doing this for a pregnant belly, and beaded fabrics have no stretch. Like, I'm telling y'all all the semantics, I'm trying to tell y'all like what's in the process of this stuff. And then if I don't do it on the machine that way, I would have to hand sew it. You see what I'm saying? So y'all get the complexity of the situation. And y'all, I will insert the dress and moving forward in the story so y'all understand what I'm talking about, right? So now I tell her, yo, I get my fabric wholesale, you know what I'm saying, from China. I buy my fabric wholesale when I buy my fabric. So I can hit up my vendor on WhatsApp. I can ask him if he have any fabrics similar to these, and let's see what price point he say. But you know, even though it's cheap, we're gonna have to pay for like overnight shipping and all this, that, and the third. And she was like, okay. After we finished found the fabric from my vendor with shipping, 2-day shipping from China and stuff like that, everything came up to about like maybe $500, which is still half of what she would have paid had she bought all that fabric retail. You know what I'm saying? So she basically bought it wholesale. And y'all, it was a good deal because we got 10 yards of fabric, because they only sold it in like 5 bulk yards. So we got 5 bulk yards, and it came up to altogether like $500 with express shipping. You can't beat that. You cannot beat that. That's less than $50 a yard, and the shipping included. Come on. I'm the GOAT. I'm the fucking GOAT. I'm the motherfucking plug. And we're talking beaded crystal fabric, like wedding type fabric. Matter of fact, let me insert the dress. Not yet. I'm not gonna insert it yet. I need y'all to keep up with the story. So the fabric gets to me and I start working on the dress. I had taken Mobe's measurements like when she had, like, you know, came like the first time when she asked for the dress, but you know, now her stomach is growing a little more, so I did ask her to stop by again just for me to get accurate fit. Mobe had this very laziness about her, and she was lazy before the pregnancy and she was extra lazy after the pregnancy. So to get her to come back to my side of town just to take the extra measurements, she kept giving me the runaround, and I don't think she understood how difficult that made my job now. You feel me? So here I am trying to make her dress in like a week now. We're like a week before the event. I'm trying to make this dress and I have other things going on. I'm working, I'm doing other stuff. So one day during that week, I get a call from Goldie. Remember Goldie from the story time? The other one. And Goldie's like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. And I'm like, what? And she was like, well, Dejanay and Isis is having a surprise baby shower for Mobe. And I asked them if you were able to come. I was like, why would you have to ask them if I can come? Like, the fuck? Like, she's having a baby shower. Why would you have to ask her if I could come? And she was like, oh no, because I asked them because the day of the baby shower is the day of the maternity shoot. So they're trying to surprise her right after the maternity shoot. So when she leaves the maternity shoot, they're going to fake take her somewhere and it's going to be the baby shower. And I'm like, okay, the same way they did a birthday party for her and nobody told me, like that. And she was just like, yeah. So I was like, so you had to ask them if I could come? And she's like, yeah, because I didn't know how they would feel about it because they didn't invite you to the birthday party last time when they did it the same way. So I was like, so you mean to tell me that I'm sitting here making this dress for the free? You feel me? And I can't come to this baby shower? That's like over some high school shit that's not that deep. Literally, long story short, me and Dejanay fell off because me and her had ended up buying the same coat, and then her sister ended up jumping into the situation, saying some out-of-pocket shit, and the situation blew up. Me and Isis fell out because she bought some stuff from Fashion Nova and wanted me to make it bigger because she was a big girl. Like, I would have to add fabric and make it bigger instead of going to get your money back from Fashion Nova or some shit like that. And the day that she wanted me to like pick up the stuff, or she was gonna drop it off, I don't think I answered, and then she sent me some disrespectful ass message, and me and her argued over that. So it wasn't like there was something that happened that's so deep for y'all to be moving like this. You feel me? Like, it happened years ago. It's not that deep. So I tell Goldie, if you gotta ask, then I don't want to come because that's weird. I was like, so how does Mobe feel about it? She's like, oh, well, Mobe don't know yet because, you know, it's a surprise or whatever. So she was like, oh, just still come. So I was like, nah, like, that's weird. The fact that you have to ask for permission and they still acting weird about it, that's mad weird. So she was like, oh, I just think you should still come because it's about Mobe. It's, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep the secret. I'm not going to go to Mobe about it. I'm going to go ahead and finish this dress, support her, do everything I'm going to do. And I'm going to still buy the gift. And the night of the baby shower, I will go, but I'm not going to go in. After Mobe finds out it's her shower and stuff, you know, I'm just going to, you know, drop off the gift. Like, because I don't want to be anywhere that I'm not wanted. So now, fast forward, that conversation finished happening. And even though Goldie did that grimy stuff afterwards to me, I appreciated that she, you know, had enough conscience to even, like, think about not excluding me or whatever. But I felt like the only reason why she had a conscience about it was because I was making the dress. And then she came with Mobe to inquire about the dress. So it just looked crazy for me to have seen it on Instagram. Like, it would have looked real crazy. The week, me talking about not even a week, so this the week of she hit me up. Remember I told you my baby was supposed to come and get her measurements taken. She never came. So I ended up just, you know, finishing the outfit to the best of my abilities. And I was like, when she do come to pick up the dress, I'll just do whatever alterations. So the night of the dress, she's supposed to come, and I'm like, girl, I cannot finish closing this dress with a zipper if you don't try it on. Like, I need you to come and pick it up. She's like, oh no, I can't come pick it up. I have a lot to do. I gotta get my hair done. I gotta this. Can you bring it to the photo shoot spot tomorrow? So I'm just like, girl, like, that's not in my plans. Like, I'm like, where's this photo shoot spot? Y'all, the photo shoot spot is like an hour and a half regular driving time for me. I'm talking about regular driving. Mind you, I don't even have a car. I'm not driving. So with traffic, that's at least 2 hours. So I'm telling her this. So she's like, oh, okay, well, you know, just try to make it there, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, she's not taking me into consideration at all. But because I know it's her baby shower, I know it's her special day, I'm like, you know what? Let me just pour it into my friend. Whatever, fuck it. But I'm thinking in my head, like, Mobe has never poured into me for my birthdays. Like, why was I going so hard? That's why I hate that I used to be a people pleaser. Because when I look back at it, the people I used to try to please and do stuff for, it wasn't like they were doing shit for me. When it was my special day, those people were non and void. They were not there. Like, I just felt like I maybe was looking more so at the longevity of the friendship than I was looking at, like, the quality of it, if that makes sense. So I stayed up the whole night. I didn't sleep not one lick. Just making sure that I got the dress ready. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, got the dress ready. The next morning, I get up, I get ready. And I was like, I'm literally going to be out all day because I'm going to go to her photo shoot. Then the same borough her photo shoot is in, the baby shower is right after. So I'm just going to have to be outside all day. So I'm going to have all my stuff with me. The gift, the freaking dress, my bag, everything. I'm getting an Uber. I get an Uber to go. She sent me a location to the spot. I get an Uber to go. Bro. Uber, $80 something. I promise you. $80 something Uber. I'm like, ah, fuck. $80 something Uber, y'all. I'm like, it was not in my plans to be paying no $80 something Uber. Like, cause you know, I still gotta get back home, all that stuff like that. I gotta travel. Like, I don't have a car, so starting off with an $80 something Uber just for the day. You feel me? So I get to the spot, and this is the first time where I meet, you know, her baby daddy. And her baby daddy, like, when I tell you, this man had the nastiest, ugliest attitude. Like, his attitude was even nasty to her family, her mom, her, like, he was disgusting. Like, all he cared about was his son. He was bickering back and forth with her the whole time. Like, he was just, I don't know. Like, I don't know how people could deal with obnoxious men like that, because that shit turns me off. Like, especially me, I'm a princess. If you're not making me feel like a princess, you gotta go. You gotta get the fuck. You gotta get the fuck from over here, especially as a man. You shitting me? Especially if I'm with child, your child. You better kiss my feet or you got to go. That's how I'm always gonna make sure that I always have my own funds, always have wisdom, always have my own mind. Because I'll be damned if a man think he about to play in my face again in life. Never, never that. So he over there just playing in everybody's face. Never greeted me. Was mad, like side eyeing and all this stuff. Just real nasty. So I dressed her in the dress. Now I'm gonna show y'all the dress. So this is the dress, y'all. This is the dress. This is the dress. Like, it stressed me out because a lot of that dress I had to hand sew. And I actually messed up my Juki presser foot right here on that dress. And I had to pay like, I think $170 something to get it fixed. And even after they fixed it, it still don't run the same way ever since that dress. But I'm just happy it's still running because it's a good investment. I'm gonna try to get it fixed again. But nevertheless, we at the photo shoot and it's me, the baby daddy, and her family. Goldie's not there, none of the friends are there, and I'm assuming that they're at the spot prepping and planning for the baby shower. So I don't think anything of it. So after the baby shower was over, everybody's getting ready to leave. And I'm saying the baby shower, after the photo shoot is over, I dress her, I undress her. Like, I was literally there, like, slaving. Like, I was sweating, I was hot, like, I was just working. Like, and I haven't slept. You get what I'm saying? So we getting in, remember, I came there by Uber, so everybody's leaving and everybody's getting in their individual cars. And I'm just looking around and motherfucking Mo Bay, she not saying nothing. She's just getting, you know, her baby daddy car. So I'm just like, okay, let me try to see if I can get an Uber to the, let me hit up Goldie to find out the location of this shower. Like, I'm not gonna go in, but I'm gonna drop a gift outside. Like, I'll give it to her or whatever. Let me get the address and stuff. So her mom, like I said, we were cool. So her mom seen me like standing by idly. And she's like, oh, you know, Sarah, where y'all go? Like, you know, she's Jamaican, whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, like, I'm talking to her on the side. And she's like, you know, I come to the shower. And I'm like, yeah, you know, Goldie told me about it. But, you know, she's an older woman, so I'm not really even involved. Remember, that's her niece that don't like me that's throwing the shower. So I'm not really, like, trying to involve her. So, yeah, so her mom is like, sorry, I had to take a quick intermission. But, yeah, so her mom is like, yeah, like, yeah, you're not for come. And I'm just like, I'm not trying to tell her mom, like, oh, yeah, you know, I'm in, like, a situation, you know, I didn't want to, like, it's a big day for everybody, so I didn't want to present that at all, so I didn't, right? So I was like, oh, you know, I'm just going to drop off a gift. I show her my gift. I was like, you want to take the gift from me? She's like, no, man, you have to come. So I'm like, yeah, but I don't really have a ride there, and I don't want to have to take an Uber to the spot, which is, like, probably going to be, like, almost $50, and then have to take another almost $100 Uber back home because I live by the airport. So I'm just like, nah. I'm not, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm really not trying to, like, spend, like, mad money, like, that much money. I'd rather just spend my $80 and go back home now. So she's like, oh, you know, her car ride is full, but get in the car with Mo Bay and her baby daddy. So her BD. So I'm like, do they want me to come to have space? I'm like, how you gonna tell her where I'm going? Because isn't it a surprise? Whatever. I'm trying to ask her. She's like, no, me have to just tell her, like, basically saying she's gonna tell her that she's gonna give me something, an altar for her or whatever. Because her mom, like I said, she was mad. Like, me and her was cool, so I used to give her mom, like, a lot of my, like, old designs. And, like, if I'm working on something, I make it in her size, I'll send it her way, like jewelry, whatever, because she loves glitz and glamour. And I have an excessive amount of glitz and glamour that I love sharing it with her. I never had an issue. I love that she was like had my sense of style. Like, I love this. So I would give her, every time I would see something that I felt like she would like that I had, I would always give it to her or call her up like, oh, I got something for you, whatever. And her birthday is her mom's birthday is a few days before mine, so I used to always give her something as a gift. So she was like, basically she's gonna use that as an excuse. So basically, like, telling them, like, to, like, just take me over here wherever they go, and so I can get her the stuff from her, right? So she did that. So I get in the car with them. The ride is, like, I wouldn't say awkward, but it's just quiet or whatever. I'm not thinking anything of it. You know, the BD's already stush, whatever. I don't know what's his problem, but she not saying much. I felt like whenever she got around him, he brought out the worst energy in her. Because when I tell you, I never seen her in a down or angry mode until he kind of came into her life. if that makes sense. So that was what I was noticing. I was noticing like a complete shift in her personality, not even just in her mood, but her entire personality. But nevertheless, we get to the spot, and I let them go in first because I know they're surprising her. And like I told you, I wasn't going in. And then after the surprise was over, I had called her sister or something to call her out. And then she came out and I gave her the gift or whatever. And then she never even asked me why I wasn't coming in. I was like, yeah, I'm not staying or whatever, I'm going. And then she was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, because, you know, your cousin, Dejanay, and your little bestie, Isis, you know, they don't want me in here. And she was like, y'all stupid. Like, she didn't really say much. She kind of just brushed it off. So I gave her the gift and I left. So everybody else enjoyed their night, whatever. I seen other people from high school that had went there, whatever. I wasn't really pressed because I just felt like I don't want to be nowhere I'm not celebrated. I don't want to be nowhere where I'm not wanted. None of that. And while I was outside, even giving her the gift and talking to her briefly while I was waiting for my Uber back home, I seen Dejanay and Isis. They didn't come out at the same time, but they came out at separate times. And they were grilling me like they wanted to fight. And I'm just like, girl, it's been like 10 plus years. Like, get a grip. Like, it's not that deep. That's how I be knowing that the hate be deeper than what has happened, or bitches be keeping up with me. Because if I ain't see somebody in like 10 plus years, not saying that I forget. Like, I do remember everything people do or say to me or whatever. But I'm not going to be that pressed about it. You feel me? Like, I'm not going to be that pressed. Like, it's not giving that. Like, at all. Like, it wasn't giving be that pressed, like, personally. So, that they probably just came outside because they wanted to see me. Because remember, they just be seeing you online. They don't be seeing you in real life. And they be pressed to see you in real life. They want to see the Barbie doll in real life. Yeah, see me. You know what I'm saying? Big things I want. Every time I'm having, like, a Jamaican type story, my Jamaican accent be coming out. Especially I spent 7 days in Jamaica. I was in Jamaica like, yeah, man. No man, yeah man. You see me? Pussy hole. I love that one. Pussy hole. The black plate. Fire, fire. Sodomite, sodomite. Alright, I'm done. I don't know why we always learn the curse words when we try to learn other languages, because I know mad curse words in Spanish and Jamaican patois and French and Creole. Like, I know, I was just telling my mom, like, my mom heard me curse in Creole and she's like, yo, how you listen to me too much, because how you learn all that? I'm like, yeah, I be listening, like. So that was that ended off the night. I'm happy. Like, I just went home. It was what it was. So now we get to the second half of the story. Y'all already know my story times be long because I be having to give y'all the backstory. How y'all gonna be able to give me advice or understand where I'm coming from? Not only that, y'all already at a disadvantage because there's 3 sides to every story. There's my side of the story, there's the other people's sides of the story, and there's God's perception and truth of the story. Everybody have their own truth. So I be only explaining stuff to y'all from my point of view. Even just now I had a comment the other day where somebody was like, they felt like I was being shady in one of the story times, and I respected their point of view because everybody have their point of views versus their actions. So I be telling y'all what I do too. You know what I'm saying? I don't be hiding shit. I be telling y'all what I do. So that's the reason why I'm giving y'all details. But now we in the second part of the story time. So remember how I told y'all, you know, her maternity, baby shower, all that stuff was around the time of her birthday. That's why they kind of, you know, surprised her and all that stuff like that. So now that finished happening. So she hits me up one day, and like not too long after that, because remember her birthday time is around that time, and she's like, oh, you know, she's trying to go on a trip for her birthday. She usually always go on a trip, but at that time she was having kind of like disagreements and issues with, like, you know, their co-parenting. So she didn't really want to leave the baby, you know what I'm saying? Like, she wanted to take the baby on a trip. So when she came and asked me if I wanted to go on the trip, and then she was like, she's gonna bring the baby, mind you, at this point in time, the baby's a newborn. The baby's only like 3 months, 4 months old, if that. You know what I'm saying? Like, So I'm just like, you gonna go with the kid? But before she even brought the kid thing up, she kind of told me she wanted to go on a trip. I was kind of surprised that she asked me to come on the trip, because remember I said how over the course of 15 years, I've had group trips with other girls. I've never had a group trip with them, because every time they were going away, there was always Dejanay and Isis going too, and they always had an issue. I remember one time we were all supposed to, I ended up going to Aruba anyways, but one time she was going to Aruba for her birthday, and I wanted to come, and she was like, oh, well, you know, Dejanay, no, it wasn't Dejanay, it was Isis. Isis paid already, and Isis don't feel comfortable with me coming, and I couldn't go. Well, I couldn't, and I didn't go, because it was kind of like they were basically saying no. So it was kind of like, it seemed like after I kind of analyzed everything that was going on, it seemed like Mobe wasn't always as neutral. I felt like she still always like chose them over me in a sense. You get what I'm saying? Like she never prioritized me, if that makes sense. But like here I am prioritizing you. Not only was I prioritizing her, I missed this out the loop. I'm happy I remember this, because I always be adding voice notes and messing up the video. But during the latter half of her pregnancy, like after the baby shower, y'all, I was cooking for Mobe every week. Every week I cook for her and would bring her food. Like literally every fucking week. And remember I told you I used to always hold her mom down with stuff like that. Even like her little sister, if like anybody needed alterations, they in her family, they would always come to me. Her brother, like, you know what I'm saying? I was their go-to when they needed stuff, and I felt like I was always there for them. So I just felt like the fact that I'm not saying that Isis wasn't there for them, because she was also close to the family, but I just felt like it wasn't fair to always exclude me. You get what I'm saying? Like the only time I felt like I was always included in something was when the mom realized I was this like not included, and she would go to Mal and be like, no, like, you know what I'm saying? Like she would never get into it, but she would always vouch for me, like, no man, Sarah for come. So now I'm thinking in my head like, all right, you invited me to this trip, are the rest of the girls coming? You know what I'm saying? Because y'all usually don't, you know, associate me in group settings. So now I'm confused. So she's like, no, they're not coming, you know, it's too last minute, and everybody has like, you know, everybody got kids and stuff. So I was like, what does that mean? And she was like, girl, you know, you ain't got no kids. Girl, I have a puppy. What are you talking about? Anytime I travel, I still have to pay for him to be in the babysitter, and it's not cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I can't just leave him anywhere. I have to leave him with people that know how to care for dogs. And I don't have a large friend base or family base with dogs. So it's not like I have people that I know that can like just watch my dog along with their dogs. I literally have to go get a dog sitter if my mom is not available. You know what I'm saying? And she works, so she's not always available. So it was just kind of like, I hated that, because all my life, even up to now, I feel like a lot of people don't value my time because they feel like I don't have kids. Baby, I am my kid. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm a kid. I have to take care of me. That's number one. I have to take care of my puppy, who is like a living freaking mammal. Like, he has to be taken care of. Like, he's basically like a toddler in a sense. And I have to take care of my goals. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have scheduled things to do. Like, I'm not just sitting here carefree. Like, a lot of people look at your life from the outside looking in and think that, like, a lot of people think that I'm just sewing all day, or maybe I'm just doing my hair all day or something like that. Like, they don't even realize that my day, my week, my life just consists of so much. Like, I'm trying to make sure that when I do have responsibilities like another human being, I can provide for them. So don't think that I'm not working because I don't have them to work for. I'm working in advance. So you know what I'm saying? So I just hated that I hate that people don't respect my time. And they be thinking like, oh, I'm just always available for any fuckery. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm just thinking in my head like, oh, so they're not coming. They're not available to come. They all got kids and stuff like that. So now you're trying to get me to come. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, interesting. So because me and Mobe never had any of those like hateration or dramatic issues, we never had no issues at all, other than the fact that, you know, just her being like always front and center for the drama, but never defending me or never standing up for me and stuff like that. But that's why I feel like I was sidetracked. I never seen an issue with that aspect of it because me and her never had any direct issues. You get what I'm saying? So I'm just like, okay, like I was banned from birthday parties. I was banned from trips in the past. Now you want me to come on this last minute trip with you, like, because I don't have kids? Like, you know what I mean? So I told her, like, you know, like, where are you trying to go? So remember, now that she present the kids, so I'm like, I'm always up for a trip. If y'all are OG, damn, we don't have a tribe name yet. We still choosing. All right, I'm gonna just tell y'all, I'm trying to call us Haras Dolls. Somebody came up with Haras Dolls, and if we end up choosing that name, I'm gonna have to run you a nice little gift package. Okay, I know who you are. If we end up coming up with that name, but that's the name that I really like. I feel like I thought about that name in the past and didn't think to use it. So when somebody brought it to light again, I'm like, I really want to call us Haras Dolls. So if y'all like that, let me know. Drop it in the chat. But if y'all are OG Haras Dolls, ooh, that has a nice ring to it, then y'all know that I love me a good trip. Okay, I am passport fly me out mommy. Okay, as long as I can afford it and I got the time and the opportunity, I am out of this state, out of this country. Like, you feel me? Like, especially now that I don't have no kids, I'll be ready to travel, but on my terms though. You feel me? Like, when I'm ready. Like, so I'm just like, you know, I'll let you know, like, I'll consider it. I'm thinking about it. But then she's like, she bringing the kids. So I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, the kid is like not even 6 months yet. You know what I'm saying? The kid is like mad young. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you really want to travel with an infant that size? I know people do it. I know there's nothing against doing it. But it was still off-putting because, you know, it's a birthday trip. You want to go on this trip, have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, turn up, like, you want to go with a baby? How are you going to do that with a baby? So she's like, oh, you know, I'm just really trying to go and relax, whatever. So like I told her, like, if we're going somewhere exciting, like, we were choosing options. Like, I think we were thinking about, like, somewhere in the Caribbean, Turks and Caicos, whatever. I was like, you know what? If we're going somewhere exciting, I don't mind because I'm an introvert. I'm selectively extroverted. So I'm an introvert myself in a sense. But I do like to, like, you know, if I go out of the country, I don't mind relaxing too. I don't have to party the whole time I'm outside. I'm not really one of those people. So she's like, yeah, we can go somewhere good. So I told her, yeah, if we're going somewhere out of the country that I've never been, I will go with you. You know what I'm saying? Just to get the experience. So she told me she's bringing a kid. So I'm like, all right, it's off-putting, but cool. And then it was a little weird because I didn't really know how to interact with her baby, because she was one of those parents where, like, even when I went to go visit the baby, like when it was first born or whatever, like, I get that, like, you don't want people touching your kid and stuff like that, but it was just kind of like, she kind of was like still like that after a few months. So it was like, now the baby's like 4 months and shit. It's like, she still don't want you touching her kid and shit like that, which, you know, I don't have no offense to, but she used to say it's because my nails are long and stuff like that, which I respect. But it was just kind of like, I don't know, like, I've seen videos of Isis and Dejanay touching the kid, you know what I'm saying? So, and even Goldie. But I remember she would even say, like, oh, you know, they all have kids though. Like, okay. I fed a latte in a bottle when I first got him. It's people that's gonna be like, girl, your dog is not your kid. Yes, he is. He costs us just as much. Do you know how much I pay for insurance for this liquor boy? Jesus, that could be a new wig every month. You feel me? No cap, like, literally his insurance is a new wig every month, literally. Like, I would have, like, he's 5, and I've been having insurance for him since he was a baby. So let's talk about the math. How many wigs would your girl own today? You know what I'm saying? So yes, he's a baby. Okay, so now nevertheless, that was just what it was. It was just hard to think about being on a trip with a baby that you don't really want me to, like, touch, in a sense. So it was just like, I just always have to remember that and keep that in the back of my mind. And then one day she hit me up and she sends me an Expedia itinerary. So she was like, I just booked the trip. So mind you, it's like 2 weeks before the trip, right? And me, I'm a person, me need to plan my things them. You see me? Me have to plan my things them, the outfit, the look, the everything, the hair. Me have to plan the things them. Like, I really, like, it's crazy. I got a whole itinerary right now for a trip that I'm hoping to plan soon. And I'm talking about like outfit, places to go, what I want to see, where I want to take pictures. Like, I'm really trying to get into that life. So I know my head is crazy, so I be having to plan for stuff like that. So when she sent me the itinerary, I remember she was throwing some dates in the air, but I didn't think it was like that soon. Not only did I not think it was that soon, I didn't think that she was gonna like, I thought she was gonna discuss the process a lot more with me. It kind of felt like she presented the trip idea to me, and then I told her like, oh yeah, you know, I'm not really ready to go on a trip right now, but if we are going somewhere I've never been, I might want to go, like, you know what I'm saying, just let me know. So I thought she was going to include me in the process. I didn't think she was just going to up and just decide everything on her own and book the trip. You feel me? So she sends me the Expedia itinerary saying the trip is booked. So I'm like, girl, why wouldn't you have told me that you were booking the trip? Like, you feel me? Like, why didn't you tell me that? Like, and she's like, oh, because I found it at a good price, whatever. So I'm looking through the itinerary now. Y'all see me rolling my eyes, right? I'm trying to get this needle bed in here, but hold on. Let me make this stitch real quick so I can tell y'all. So I'm reading this itinerary, and like I said, the date is in like 2 weeks or less than that. Like, it was literally like 13 or literally, you know how Expedia says 12 days away. It was saying something like that, like 13 days away. I'm like, the fuck? And then I look at the destination, y'all. She booked a flight to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. I have nothing against Puerto Rico. I love Puerto Rico. That's my problem. I went to Puerto Rico 3 times. Well, the trip with her to Puerto Rico makes 3 times. I went to Puerto Rico prior to that trip 2 times already. You feel me? I've been to Puerto Rico. And the reason why I keep having to go to Puerto Rico is for this very reason. Every time I've had to travel to Puerto Rico is because of people that don't have their passport. The fact that y'all are sitting out here grown, not y'all, not my tribe. I know my tribe is good. And if my tribe don't have their passports, I'll help y'all. You know, it's a little harder nowadays to get a passport. Thank God my mom got me a passport from when I was a little youth. But if y'all need help getting passports and stuff, I would like guide y'all. All you got to do is go to the post office or do it online at your local post office service. But if y'all need a step-by-step, I got y'all, because you need your passport out here. Like, you don't want to be stuck in the U.S. for no reason at all. Like, even if you have a fear of flying or you want to travel, just have your passport. It's another form of ID too. You know what I'm saying? It's just essential. It's an essential piece of document to have. So every time I ever, you know, had to go to Puerto Rico is because I've always had to go with people that don't have their passports. So I felt like did I ever enjoy my trip to Puerto Rico? No, I never enjoyed it, like, ever. But I love the island. I just never really enjoyed the trip. It was always just lackluster. Like, I remember my first time going to Puerto Rico, it was like a group, 8 of us, 4 couples, 8 of us. And we were crammed up in some Airbnb for my boyfriend's friend's birthday. And then nobody had money. They just wanted to eat Domino's and Wendy's every day. And then the day I wanted to go out and eat, they were upset about it. And I went out and had to eat with my boyfriend, and they were mad at him. And like, it was just extra shit. Like, I just don't, like, yeah, I don't be want to go to Puerto Rico with people. But nevertheless, so I'm like, Puerto Rico, like, I'm like, girl, I've been to Puerto Rico mad times. Like, I'm not trying to go back to Puerto Rico again. Like, you know what I'm saying? I said if it was somewhere that I never been. And she's like, oh, well, you know, I'm having issues with my BD, and he not really trying to sign off on a passport for the little one. So I'm just like, nah, that's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, y'all should be going on this trip together, like, as a family. Like Like, I just feel like, how did I get intertwined into this dilemma? Like, you bitches never even really talk to me. You bitches just be popping in and out of my life when y'all need something. And yes, unbeknownst to me, I did tell her, like, you know, I would rock out. But if it was somewhere that I wanted to go, like, I thought she was going to involve me in the process. I didn't think she was just going to go up ahead and book the shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how people plan stuff together. Like, I do understand you're going for your birthday. But if somebody is generous enough to take their time and their money to go and celebrate with you, the least you could do is involve them in the process. You know what I'm saying? Like, even, like, for my birthday, like, my friends are telling me to plan a dinner. And I was asking them, like, where would y'all want to eat? Like, what kind of cuisine would y'all want to eat? What flavor cake do y'all like? Because me, I don't eat cake. But I like cake for, like, celebration purposes. But I would buy a flavor cake that most people want to eat because they're out here to celebrate me. I appreciate it. So I do always consider other people in my, even though when it's my celebration, because you have to be respectful and appreciative of people not only spending their time to support you, but their coin. People are spending their money to support you. You have to be appreciative of that. You know what I mean? So, nevertheless, I'm like, how the hell did I just get intertwined into all of this? Like, now we can't even go somewhere that, you know, we both might want to go because there's no passport for the little one. So I'm telling her, like, do you have to take the little one? And she was like, I'm definitely taking him now because, you know, he want to play that game. He don't want to sign off on a passport, blah, blah. I'm not leaving him with him, whatever. And I'm just like, I don't want to go on no trip with no 4-month-old. I don't know about y'all, but not vacation, not celebration. Like, I don't want to go on a trip with no 4-month-old. I know it sounds bad, but I don't know. Would y'all want to go on a trip with a 4-month-old? Maybe my 4-month-old with my man as a family, or if I have a family vacation, but, or if, like, I don't know how I feel about it. Y'all drop it in the comments. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't want to say the wrong thing either. But I really wasn't keen on going on a trip with a baby that young, especially, you know. Anything can happen. The baby's so tiny. It's just such a liability, I just feel. But, and then I felt like it wasn't like the baby didn't have, like, somewhere safe to stay. She had a very nice family, a very close-knit family at that. Not only were they nice, they were close-knit. And then as asshole-ish as the BD was, he cared about his son. So it wasn't like the baby had a lot of loved ones around it. So it wasn't like she was in a position where, you know, I don't want to leave my baby. I have to take my baby. The baby was surrounded with love and support. And no questions asked from his family and her family. Like, and that's rare to find. Look at the liquor panty. The liquor panty. This is going to be a small little panty covered a little hoo-ha. But, this is for a small little petite person. See my label, extra small. Let's see if you can see. These are custom labels. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, you can see it right here. Extra small. See my logo right here. Yeah, shop at Deharasnyc.com. I love these logos because you can scan a QR code and it takes you straight to the garment care page on my website. But I like adding them in right into my little bathing suit right here. So it's like, I like the clear ones because you don't feel it. It's not itchy, and you guys can always cut it out and save it somewhere or whatever. But nevertheless, yeah, so I'm gonna put this on the left side or right side. See, I pinned it in. Pin it in like this, and then I sew the swimsuit together. It's a process, y'all. It's another looking process. So where I was up to? Oh yeah. So I'm disappointed now because I'm just like, all right, so I gotta go back to Puerto Rico. But I'm thinking like, all right, but this is my friend. I said I was gonna support her and come on a trip, and that's what I should do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a person who likes to renege too much. I always be feeling bad when I renege, and I need to stop feeling bad about that. Am I gonna have enough? I hope I have enough because I'm making 2 of these right now, and I only got a little bit of elastic. Like, a little bit. I don't even know how I went through this whole row. How many white outfits did I make? What the fuck? I don't even remember making mad white outfits. Did I make mad white outfits? Where the hell did this whole row go? I need to go back and look at my inventory list, because is somebody stealing my elastic? This is crazy, y'all, because you know this is like freaking 15 yards when it came, like full to the brim. Like I'm looking like, how many outfits did I make? Oh, I did make the denim tears. Oh yeah, y'all, the denim tears. I'm at it right here. I had made a lot of those, but they're not on the website. You see, y'all it was good that y'all bunned me up about not putting stuff on the website, because I have inventory designs that I've curated that are not on the website. Because I've been working this stupid ass 9 to 5, I haven't found the time. But now that your girl quit, it's about to be that time. So get your coins ready, because Deharasnyc is coming, and it's coming for blood and your coins. But so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna like just still support her, whatever. What's another trip to Puerto Rico? I love the food, love the people, love the vibe. And there were still things that I didn't get to do there, like go to the, you know, Patron Museum and all that stuff like that, Margarita, whatever alcohol museum that is. They have some famous tequila down there, and they have a museum for it. So I didn't get to go the 2 times that I did go. So I was just like, you know, I could probably finally go this time, right? So now I'm like, okay, let me look at the cost. I'm looking at the cost, y'all. The trip total for the whole trip, including the infant, because she was talking about, oh yeah, we just got to split the cost down the middle. So I'm looking at the whole trip, including the infant, all this stuff like that. It came out to over $4,000. And she had already paid it. It was already paid for. So I'm just like, we in New York. What blood cleat trip to Puerto Rico costs fucking $4,000 for 2 people? Are we going on a honeymoon suite? Like, what is this? Like, how the hell did you get this price point? Because I know that Puerto Rico is one of them places that people that don't got much money to flex with can go and actually experience the island vibe, because it's not that expensive and it's connected to the US. You don't need a passport to go there. So they work on the US dollar. It's not, you can use your food stamps out there. Like, it's one of those destinations, like, you can, you know, if you don't got that much bread, you can still finesse and go to, type of thing. So I'm like, nah, why is the trip so expensive? So she's like, oh, you know, the flights are last minute. So they came up to this amount. And then the hotel, I've been wanting to stay at this hotel. I gotta stay at this hotel because I love their pool, and they got this and this and that. So I'm looking at the hotel. So I'm thinking in my head, like, all right, if she getting a 4,000 plus, because it was like 4,100 something, this shit must be all inclusive. And if it's all inclusive, I'm not gonna be that upset. You know, I'm still upset because when I first started considering, like, everything happened so fast, but I'm looking at itinerary and I'm like, Puerto Rico, as I'm processing everything, I'm thinking, all right, it's Puerto Rico. It's not really a steep trip. You know what I'm saying? But do I personally want to spend $2,000 on a trip to Puerto Rico that's not to celebrate me? Like, personally, no. I would rather spend that $2,000 and go somewhere I've never been before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been to Puerto Rico 3 times. So that's all I'm thinking in my head. But I'm also thinking, if it's all inclusive, it's really not that bad, because at least I'll be able to eat, drink, and just have all of that covered while I'm out there. You know what I'm saying? So even if I had paid less, I still have to make sure I ate and all that stuff like that. So I'm thinking it will all break even in some sort of way. So I'm looking at the hotel. The hotel don't even look nothing special. The only thing that's nice is they do have a lot of, like, different, like, stuff, restaurants, and, like, the way, like, the view is and all this stuff. I'm like, it's cute or whatever, but, you know, I'm sure there's nicer stuff in Puerto Rico, because I'm a person, like, I should get into, like, trip planning and stuff, because I be finding good deals on nice stuff. Like, you really got to take your time and just search, though. Like, you can't just pick the first thing that, you know, the search engine shows you. You got to really filter things out, search through the pages. Like, them search pages be going up to, like, 20, 15 pages, and y'all be picking the first thing y'all see on the first page. Like, look through it. Like, research. So I'm looking through the hotel details and I'm just like, Mobe, is this all inclusive? And she's like, no. And I'm just like, so you're talking about 2,000 a person just to stay here. Just to stay here. And mind you, we weren't going for long. We were going for 3 nights and 4 days. 3 nights and 4 days. So I'm like, girl, why would you not get something all inclusive for this price? Like, this is crazy. This price is wicked. So she's like, oh, this is the hotel I want to stay at. This hotel I always want to stay at. She was just like real insensitive about it. She was like, yeah, well, you know, you got to give me 2,000 something something. So I'm just like, how the fuck did I get here? Mind you, guys, I was about to launch my e-com shop.deharasnyc.com. I was in the process of launching it, and she knew that. She knew that. You know what I'm saying? Remember I told you I transitioned from custom clothing to e-commerce. So you know that cost me a little coin, right? You know it cost me a little coin, right? Yeah. And I'm a self-investor. So during that time, my birthday, you know what I'm saying, is coming up soon. I'm self-investing, transferring my brand to e-commerce, launching my stuff. My money is still tied up in different places. And I just felt like it was just so inconsiderate. I just felt like she didn't break down any of the price points to me. She didn't ask me if I was comfortable going here. Nothing. She just came to me like, oh, you know, I want to go on this trip. Can you come with me type thing? And then just went from there. And I just had to accept it. And so I'm conflicted because I'm like, I don't even have enough time to plan my looks, you know, do all this stuff. Like, I literally had so much on my plate, so much going on. So I was like, damn, Sarah, you should have just told her no from the jump. But she had already bought the tickets. So now I went to her and I told her, like, yo, can you cancel my part and I'm going to book my own on my own? And then I'm book my flight and my stuff. So she's like, you're not going to stay at this hotel? And I'm like, girl, if I could find something in the area that I like a lot much better, that's more affordable, like, I would rather stay there. So she's going to tell me, like, oh, even if she, like, canceled, you know, you got 24 hours to cancel. So I was like, she's like, oh, even if she canceled, when she readjusts the price, you know, the only thing that comes off the price is the flight. Basically saying that, I think the flight was like around, round trip, the flight was like 5 something, right? Round trip from New York to Puerto Rico. Because it was a last minute flight. Of course, if you're going to Puerto Rico and you buy your flight even like a month or, you know, a month and a half, 2 months in advance, it's not going to be that expensive. But it was like 5 something. And the time frames that she chose and stuff like that or whatever. Because she was saying that she can't travel with the baby at a certain time or whatever. So everything was under her discretion, her needs and stuff. So she's talking about, oh, the trip still comes out to like $3,500 after you take off the flight type of thing. And I'm just like, yeah, because the bulk of the money is going to the motherfucking hotel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just fucking insane. And it's not even all inclusive. And then she was talking about, oh, how the hotel comes with like a baby, like the where they sleep in, the playpen or whatever, in the nursery, and that's why she needed, and it's kid friendly, and you know, she's telling me all this stuff or whatever. So I'm just like, oh my god, like, I don't even really know what to say, because of course I'm not really jacking the situation, but I kind of, in a way, even in a way I didn't, I kind of still in a way signed up for it in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a way. So I'm not really too happy about the situation, but I'm not making a big deal out of it. Panty almost finished. I gotta connect to the other side. And then after that, we're gonna go in with the feathers. Where are my feathers? Your girl went to the garment district the other day. Got me fur boa. Y'all couldn't imagine how expensive this is. This, you're looking at $6 to $6 right here. This is $66. So when I charge y'all for some stuff, then be getting upset, because your girl gotta break even and make a little profit. So this is gonna go on the bikini, and then I got some diamonds that's gonna go on top. Just hanged it up there. Yeah, I got that mannequin. Is vintage. My neighbor gifted it to me the other day. She's such a sweetheart. I love her down. But it's fire. But I wanted to tell y'all where I left off at. Yeah, so I'm just like, all right. So she's like, oh no, the trip is still gonna be this price. Are you opting out now? Blah blah. Like really guilt tripping, making me feel bad. So I'm like, all right, you know what? You know I got my collection that I'm launching. My money's wrapped up in that. I still gotta pay rent. I had to remember that the reason why Mobe couldn't empathize with me, she couldn't empathize with me because, oh yeah, I'm working on this too, y'all. I was thinking about launching it on the site for the summer. It's not finished yet, but it's gonna have mad different designs. I made it and then I was like, I need to bedazzle it. So if y'all like something like this, and it's functional, it's not gonna be no G-string or nothing. I made the panties in a good size frame. And then I'm adding the diamonds. But what I like about this is that all the flowers are gonna have different style diamonds on them. Like they're not all gonna be the same. Can y'all see? Y'all gonna see, but it's fire. I was working on that last night. Whenever I'm not working for people, I actually get on the machine and create. When y'all don't see me creating, it's because I'm working for some cocksuckers. I'm tired of it. That's why I gotta support my brand so I can stay home and sell and tell y'all all these wonderful stories. But nevertheless, yeah, where I was up to. So against my better judgment, I said, okay, I'll go, but I got my money tied up in this. I'll give you $1,000 right now, and then I'm gonna pay you like this amount before the trip come, and then this amount after, right? So she was like, okay, cool. But like I said, what I was trying to say is that I had to remember that Mobe didn't understand my concerns because she's never had to pay rent in her life. Okay, I'm a person, I've been paying rent for a long time. I've been paying rent for like 10 years now. Yeah, a decade, maybe 11. And my rent just goes up and up and up and up. So the responsibilities that I personally have, she didn't. Like Mobe literally was just maybe paying her phone bill, if that, or maybe she was on a family plan, but she was set. She was good. I'm not gonna expose her situation, but her situation was good. She was in a good standing place when it came to her situation, if that makes sense. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying she was wealthy, but she wasn't struggling, like, if that made sense. I'm not saying I was wealthy or struggling, but I was barely making it. Like, I can't say I was struggling because God has given me an opportunity to do a lot of things. I've traveled to so many places. I spend money literally every day. So if I didn't have money or never had money, how the hell could I be spending so much goddamn money? Like when I be looking at my bank statement at the end of the month, I'm like, God damn, girl, slow down. So I'm not gonna say I was struggling, but I was barely making it as well. So I sent her the initial $1,000, and then right before we left for the trip, I gave her another $500, right? So now we get on the trip, and when we get to going there, we arrive there. She comes there, she's extremely flustered. She looks stressed out, and I'm telling her, like, girl, like, it's still your birthday. You still want to enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to, like, kind of, like, be out here stressing over your BD and stuff. You know, just focus on just having fun. So I asked her if she kind of planned an itinerary because I had some places that I wanted to go. But everything that I was telling her I wanted to do, she kept kind of like turning it down, like, oh, it's not kid friendly. And I did understand that, but it was just kind of like, damn, girl, so what do you want to do? So she's like, oh, we could just stay on a resort. So she didn't want to go to the Bacardi mansion, I think it was. But I had bought tickets to go, and she said that she wouldn't have gone inside. She would have just kind of like came with me to the area and like stayed nearby and waited for me, which was cool because, you know, I don't mind doing things solo. But y'all, this is what I forgot to mention. When we get to Puerto Rico, y'all, unbeknownst to me, the last 2 times I had stayed in Puerto Rico, I had stayed in San Juan. So we flew into San Juan, right? But I didn't do my research thoroughly enough. Because when we get there and we get in a cab driver charging us $100 to get to another, basically the hotel was in a whole other city or part of the island. It was not in San Juan. And it was an hour and 20 minutes drive from the airport from San Juan. So I'm thinking to my head, like, girl, how are you supposed to do anything? Because I'm looking at the area now that we're going to. We're in an Uber going there. And I'm like, if this is $100 Uber, we're going far. So I'm looking in the area of the hotel now. Now I'm doing my due diligence for myself and doing some more research. I just was reluctant to do research early on because I just felt like the way she was acting, like, oh, it's my trip, this is what I want to do. I just felt like it was no point in me kind of like trying to like plan stuff because she already had her, you know, vision of what she wanted for her birthday, and I didn't want to change that for her. But then when I'm looking at how far we're going to this hotel, I'm like, yo, this shit isn't a boondocks, bro. Like, this shit is nowhere near like San Juan, nowhere near the lit stuff, nowhere near nothing. Like, nowhere near nothing. Literally, we will have to come back an hour and 20 minutes this way to go to everything. First of all, to go into the hotel, you can't even walk into the resort. You have to be able to drive in there because it's like almost in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like, without a rental and an Uber, you can't go nowhere. So I'm telling her, like, girl, we should have just rented a car. Because we're in an Uber from the airport going an hour and 20 minutes away. Where we're going to be over there for the next 4 days. And I'm looking around the area and there's nowhere there. And she's like, yeah, but the resort has restaurants. I told you that. Which are not all inclusive. Who told you that I want to eat from these expensive ass restaurants for the next 4 days? I want to be able to eat street food. I want to be able to eat all different type of restaurants. All different type of things. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm looking at the restaurants the resort have. And they only had 3 restaurants. It was Thai, Japanese food. An Italian restaurant. And then like kind of like a fried food place where they fried chicken and different stuff. I was like, girl, they don't even have any tacos here. Who the hell comes to a Spanish, I'm not Spanish, but Latin country with no goddamn, with a place that don't have no tacos? I'm here for the tacos. My culture don't make tacos. So when I go anywhere where it's Latin culture, I want me some tacos. I want some of their traditional food. I don't want no resort food that's literally like pandering. Like, you got fried food here. Like, who told you I wanted to come to Puerto Rico and eat this? Who told you I wanted to come to Puerto Rico and eat Japanese food? I want to come to Puerto Rico and eat Puerto Rican food. Wherever I'm at, I want to eat their food. That's what I want to eat. I don't want to eat no Domino's, no Wendy's, no Burger Shack. I want to eat Puerto Rican food. I'm irritated because I'm just like, see how irritated I am? I pinned this the wrong way. I was supposed to pin it the other way. I pinned it the wrong way. So now I'm like, I know I skipped the step because I'm like, this was too easy. Like, usually the process is not that swift. Hopefully I can turn it around after cutting it. So yeah, so now I'm like, okay, so we're stuck in the boondocks. Now we get to the hotel, mad far, hour, and we come out from the flight, the baby crying, he want milk. She feeding him titty, but I think her thing was dry. There's a lot of complications. We're with a very small baby. Baby crying the whole way. We're there for like an hour in the car. Now we get to the spot. When we get there, our room wasn't ready. So we were sitting down in the hot lobby for another hour and change. Now finally, when they get a room ready for us, it's 3. They don't have an elevator, but it's 3 flights up. And she got the first of all, she got the stroller, and the stroller come with the car seat attachment, and she got her suitcase. She got a suitcase for the baby. She got the baby bag, and I got my stuff. So when they gave us the room on the 3rd floor, I'm like, girl, you didn't request a 1st floor room knowing that you had the picnic? And she was like, oh, she called and they told her it was on a first come, first served basis, blah, blah, blah. So now we finally get to the room. I'm the one who, the place didn't even have concierges. Like, you know how they have men who usually bring your stuff with you? They didn't have none of that. So I'm trotting up all the stuff because she has the baby. She's still breastfeeding the baby. I'm carrying everything. I'm carrying the stroller. I'm carrying my suitcases. I'm carrying her suitcases. I'm carrying the baby bag and the baby suitcases up and down the hot stairs in Puerto Rico. I didn't even get to get cute for the trip. I didn't get to pack anything cute. It was so last minute. I didn't get to buy nothing new. I really didn't even really get to do my hair or my nails. I had press-ons. Like, I just was not ready for the trip. For me to have been spending so much money, I felt like it should have been somewhere I wanted to go, and I should have been a lot more ready for the trip. So I trout everything up and down the stairs every single day through this trip. While we on this trip, y'all, she don't want to do nothing but go to the pool. Everything that I'm trying to get her to do, she doesn't want to do. And the whole time when she's there, it's like, you know, I don't know if it's a first mom syndrome, but it's like she can't stop and do anything outside of just everything. And I get it because the baby's so small, but she had to focus on the baby so much. And then the people didn't even give us a room with a crib in it. They told us they was out of room with cribs, and I'm like, girl, wasn't this the whole reason why you wanted to pick this hotel? Because you said it was baby friendly. Now we're in a room with no crib in it. So the way she had to do it was like, it was a 2-bed hotel room, and then she had to literally make a makeshift like bed for her and the baby because she didn't want to sleep on the top bed so that the baby don't roll over, so she slept on the floor. It was just a lot going on, like a lot. Like, it was a lot. And then she was a little kind of like, started to be a little standoffish, because when I realized that she was literally gonna focus on this baby the whole trip, I was like, well, I'm really gonna go out and try to do some stuff like around the resort, meet new people. And when I started going out on my own and leaving her there, when I would come back and I would try to interact with her, she was a little always standoffish. And then like every time I would come back, she would be on like a call. And then when I would notice who she's on the call with, like it would be Isis and Dejanay and stuff. But then like when I would come and she's on the call, it's like the conversation kind of like she would then put her earpods type in, like, you know when somebody's on FaceTime, but they on FaceTime like on their regular phone, but then somebody walks in and then they put their AirPods in now. And it was just kind of like, girl, like, you're on a whole trip with me. If you feel like you can't even, everybody wants their privacy, but you're talking to your cousin and your other friend, Isis and Dejanay. Like, if you don't want to talk in front of me that bad, then don't be rude. Hang up the phone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at that point, if you really don't want to talk in front of me, hang up the phone. Don't be rude. So now I'm like, wow, that's interesting. So I'm not paying too much into it. I'm like, whatever. I'm just let people go on that, how them for going. I'm just let people do what they doing. That's how she want to move, whatever. I'm thinking to myself, like, never again, though. Like, that's all I keep thinking. Like, I don't know how I put myself in here, but never the fuck again. Because now I started feeling away. So, I think it was like the 2nd day of the trip or something like that. 2nd or 3rd, whatever. I wanted to take pictures because I had made this cute little outfit that I wanted to launch on my site. And I was like, can you take some pictures of me in this outfit? And she was like, girl, you don't see me taking care of a baby? Like, no, I'm not doing none of that. I'm not taking no pictures for you this trip. I already know you like to do all that picture stuff. I'm not doing that. You see me, I got to take care of this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, when she said that, I respected it. I was like, okay, like, all right, girl. All you have to say was no. Like, all you have to say was no. It sounds like you had a preconceived conversation with bitches like, oh, yeah, she gonna want you to take her pictures. Like, that's what it sounded like. Because, girl, all you have to say was no, you can't. Like, it wasn't that deep. Like, she started going into a whole whirlwind. I'm like, okay, I got a remote for my camera, so I'll just, or like, it didn't work that well, but I always make it happen. Most of my pictures are taken by myself, so I wasn't stressing it. So now we get to the 3rd day of the trip. So the whole trip is dry, y'all. When I tell you it's dry, the baby is crying in my ears all day long. She's standoffish. She's acting weird. We're not going nowhere. And even if we wanted to go somewhere, it was so far. For example, the Bacardi spot. So I ended up buying myself a ticket to go. It was $60. Bro, the day we were supposed to go that morning, I don't know if it was the second or third day, she started complaining that the baby wasn't like feeling well and she don't want to go that far with him. And I didn't want to pay an Uber by myself. I didn't want to pay $100 motherfucking Uber like on my own, like to go and come back, because that would have been $200 just for me to go to Bacardi Mansion. So when I called them to cancel or reschedule, they didn't even want to. They kept my $60. I even tried to fight it with my bank when I got back to New York, and they kept that $60. It was like, no, give us our money. It's your fault you didn't come. But nevertheless, I'm like, so I had to opt out of going there because she didn't want to come anymore. And I was just like, damn, I already bought my ticket, all that stuff. I should have just waited till I got there to get the ticket. Like, I'm just frustrated because it's like the trip is boring, it's dull. So we get to the third day of the trip. It's the day of her birthday. And she's like, oh, she want to go to, I don't know if it was STK or Roof Chris. It was one of them spots, but it was in San Juan. So, of course, she was going to have to take that hour and 20 Uber ride there. So, before I even get to that, the whole time we're on the trip, remember I told y'all the restaurants there are not all inclusive. So, every day we're eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we're paying out of pocket. And what I realized she would do is that she will order food for her and the baby, because the baby was like 4 months. But you know how Jamaican people, they like to start well, not only Jamaican people, West Indian people, because my mom is like that too. They like to start the kids on like soft, like big people food early on. So she was ordering like light stuff for him. Like every time we would eat like mashed potatoes and like mixed vegetables, like without no salt, like just different stuff she would order for him. And those things were costly. So every time we would go out to eat, we would have a bill that included everything she was eating. And she wasn't a light eater. She would order, most of the times, the stuff that she chose to eat cost more than my food. But I'm not even watching that. Because I'm a person, if we go out to eat, I'm not counting what you order versus what I order. We're just going to split the bill in half. Because eventually it'll even out anyways, after gratuity and stuff. But we're splitting the bill in half. And I'm always paying half of the baby's food that he doesn't ever end up eating anyways. Like, so it was always a waste. I remember one time we were eating, I was like, girl, stop ordering him food because he's not gonna eat it. And she's like, no, I gotta try for him. But then you're splitting the bill down the middle. But it's like, I didn't know how to say that because it sounds so cringy, like it's a baby, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't, the food wasn't cheap. It wasn't like fucking $5 mashed potatoes. A plate of mashed potatoes was like $14 and then tax. And then she's buying other stuff on top of that for him, on top of stuff like that. So it was just always adding up, because every time we went to eat, she would try to like get food for him too. And I just felt like, girl, he's probably not eating it because he's not ready to. You know what I'm saying? So you're just wasting all this stuff. And it wasn't like she would eat it. Sometimes the food would just stay on the table, or she would carry it back to the room and then throw it out the next day because there was no microwave or whatever. So now we go into Roof Chris or STK. And you know we paying that $100 Uber to go and come back. So I get ready to go. She while I'm getting ready, she's like, oh, the whole time she's on FaceTime with Dejanay and Isis. I'm getting ready. When I finally finish getting ready, y'all, I got my hair done, makeup done. I finally really put myself together decently for the trip. And I'm thinking to myself like, oh, I'm ready early. I know she want to leave at this time, so I'm about to go downstairs, take me some pictures before I go, whatever. I get out the bathroom and she's all like, oh, I need to shower. Like, can you watch the baby for me? So I'm like, girl, you don't even want me to touch the baby. She's like, yeah, you don't got to touch him. Just watch him and call me if anything. And y'all going to be like, what you mean? Wasn't she showering the whole trip? No, y'all. From the time we touched down to then, not to put her business out there, but Mobe did not shower. Like, she would take the baby in the bathroom with her and like wipe up herself with it while she's holding the baby. And I used to be like, girl, put the picnic down for a second, girl. Like, he's not even gonna roll over. He can't even really crawl that much. Like, just put him down for a second. But she had like the first mom's anxiety, so she never really wanted to. So yeah, so that was the one time where she was like, oh yeah, she finally want to shower. So I'm just like, girl, I don't know how you in this heat You be in Puerto Rico, the sun is hot, we sweating, and you're not showering. And I was like, girl, that's not good for the baby because you giving him nipple. But she's like, oh, she will wipe off the nipple before she feed it to him. I'm giving y'all too much information, but nevertheless, she asked me if I could watch the baby while they shower. So I watched the baby. So now when they come, so I couldn't go take the pictures yet. So when she come out, she's like, oh, well, can you fix my hair for me and whatever. And I'm just like, girl, do you even have, where are your comb and brush and stuff? She's like, I don't have any. You don't have no stuff? I'm like, girl, why this always happens to me? Why do people come on trips with me and don't bring their stuff? Like, that's so confusing to me. Y'all already know my past story times. I go on girls' trips. Girls are either stealing my suitcases or relying on me to have everything they need for the trip. Just because I pack efficiently for myself doesn't mean I pack efficiently for us. So you relying on me to have she didn't even have a comb or brush for her hair. She didn't have nothing. I was like, what did you pack? Just some, first of all, she didn't even open the Fashion Nova packages. She bought a few stuff from Fashion Nova and she packed it in the suitcase without even opening it to see if it fit or nothing. She mostly packed for the baby. Most of her stuff was just baby stuff. So I was just like, girl, I don't know if you was ready to come on this trip, girl. So I'm trying to straighten her hair. I'm trying to do her hair. And I'm tight because the time is going more and more. You don't want to take my pictures. But I don't even have time. I got ready early just so I could take my own pictures. And I can't even do that. But it's still her birthday, so I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it. So I did not get pictures. No, I did not. I dressed up, looked nice, did my hair, did my makeup, did not get no pictures. Now we get in a cab. Mind you, I'm the one who's, every time we coming in and out, wherever we're going to eat, wherever, as long as we leave in that room, I'm the one who's carrying she's carrying the baby and I'm carrying the stroller and all the stuff up and down. So we go to Ruth Chris or whatever that restaurant is. We get there mad late. They were almost closing. She had to beg the people to even let us eat at that point. So we sit down to eat. Again, she's ordering food for her and the baby. And then the bill comes for Ruth Chris, y'all. The bill was like almost $400. It was like 3 something. And we didn't even add gratuity or tax yet. I'm like, what the fuck? And I remember I didn't even get an entree. I had got appetizers. And I knew I was going to at least have to pay $1 to $150. But I didn't think it was going to be like almost $400. I really didn't think it. But she had got an entree. She had got a birthday something. She got stuff for the baby. And of course she's expecting us to split it down the middle. Every time she's pulling out to pay, oh, where's your half? Where's your half? She was always making sure she got her half from me. Always making sure. So you gotta imagine, not only did I have to split a $4,100 trip to motherfucking Puerto Rico with her, I also had to spend all that money eating and moving around with her when I got there. So y'all think about how much money I already done spent thus far. Y'all think about it. Y'all do the math and let me know. I'm spending coin, right? So y'all already know I can't hide my emotions too much. Y'all seen how I acted on the trip with what did I name her? What did I name her? Jezebel, yes. Y'all seen how I acted with Jezebel. If I don't like what's happening, like at some point you're going to be able to read that energy from me. So on the ride there, I didn't really say much to her. I was very irritated. I was happy it was the last night. I was ready to go to my yard. Do you hear me? I was ready to go home. Like I done spent all my money on this trip. Most of my money on this trip right now. And I still got more spending to do because I still got to give her that $500 balance. And I like literally been spending money since I landed here and I have not had fun. I don't have one lick of picture, one lick of nothing. I didn't have no experiences. All I was doing was losing money, literally every single day. I wasn't enjoying the food. Like it was just such a waste, but I tried to make the best of it because it wasn't my birthday and I kept trying to understand. But this is when I got fed up, right? So we're on the last day of the trip. Like I said, at that point you could sense the tension because you spent the whole trip on the phone with Dejanay and Isis. Literally every day from morning to night. I'm like, if they available on FaceTime this much, then they should have at least been available to come on the trip. Because them girls got so much time on their hand. Because they've been talking to you all day, every day on this trip. I'm not even jealous. I'm not saying nothing. It is what it is. So I'm just like, okay, at this point, I don't have an issue with Mobe. I'm just not going to play her too close. That's all I kept thinking to my head. Like, I don't have no issue with you, but I'm not going to play you too close anymore because I thought you were the neutral person. But you're sitting here not giving a fuck about me, my income, my feelings. You're not paying no mind to me. You know, like, it's just weird. The vibe is weird. Everything is weird. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, they just did that weird shit at your baby shower. You ain't really say nothing about it. Even when I tried to talk to you about it, you didn't really say nothing. Like, you didn't go against it. You know, you just said, wow, that's crazy. That's literally all she had to say. Because I even brought it back up on the trip. And she was like, yeah, that's crazy. Like, and just kept it pushing. We get in our last $100 Uber back to the airport. And when we get back to, remember, I'm the one helping to do everything. We get back to motherfucking New York now. And her brother came to pick her up. I don't live far from the airport, but still, I felt like, girl, I came on this trip. I went with you. Your brother's picking you up. You could have at least asked me, like, how I was getting home or anything. We literally got off the flight. She immediately got on her phone. I don't know who she was talking to. I'm helping her stroll the luggage through the airport after we get it from baggage claim and the stroller and stuff. And then once we get to the door, like, I follow her to the door. And she was like, okay, I'll see you later. And then I seen her brother came. He said hi. And then they loaded the stuff and she left. Like, she dead left me at the airport. And I was just like, couldn't even offer me a ride. Nothing. But okay, I guess. So I think, did I get an Uber? Yeah, I got an Uber. Because I was going to call my brother or my family to pick me up. But around the time we was flying in, everybody was coming from work. So I knew that they 9 times out of 10 wouldn't have been available. So I didn't even stress it. I just paid my Uber to go. So now that we back from the trip, I was like, yo, I'm going to see how long it takes for her to hit me up. Because I wasn't hitting her up because I felt away. But I didn't want to say anything. I felt like I'm going to have that conversation with her. Like, you know, it's still like her birthday time, whatever. I'm going to have that conversation with her after. And depending on how she responds, I'm going to know, like, how much she fuck with me or don't fuck with me. Because right now I'm not feeling it. But I still don't want to come at her in any type of way. Because, like I said, we never had an issue, like, personally with each other. So, remember I told you I still owed her the $500 balance, right? So, I was sending her $100 every week. Every time I got paid, I was sending her $100. And I remember I told her that. I told her, like, yo, I'm going to pay you this like this. I'm going to pay you that like that. Me, I'm a person, I like to factor out my money. Because I need to be able to afford everything that I'm doing. I can't just put all my money out at once. I have to manage my money. I have to. So, I asked her if she was okay with that prior to. And she said she was. Again, you're a person who went ahead and booked the trip for me. Without my motherfucking agreements, knowledge, you know, all that stuff. So, the least you can do is relax. And accept the way I'm paying you. Which I thought she was going to. So now we get to, I think it was like my second week of paying her. And the third week was coming, but, and it's not too long ago either. But that week, I couldn't pay her. Because I had something that came up with my storage or something. And I had to just dish out extra money that week. And I was just like, next week I'm going to double up. And I'm going to just send her, if not the rest, if not the whole $300, I'm going to send her $200 next week. That's what I was really thinking in my head. But like I said, me and her wasn't communicating. But when I was sending the money, she was obviously receiving it. You know what I'm saying? Like, however the case may be. So, now, a few days after the day I usually send it pass. And I get a freaking text message from her. And not even a text message. Shorty didn't even text me. I'm talking about text message. I get a request on Cash App. Because that's how I was sending her money, through Cash App. Because she didn't have it. I usually like to send money through Zelle. But she didn't really have. I don't think she had Zelle at that point. So I'm get a request from Cash App. And you know when you get a request from Cash App, you could put like a memo or a note in or something like that. So I put the memo in the I'm reading the memo, And it says requesting $341 for a trip to Puerto Rico. Like, bitch, who are you talking to? Why the fuck would you send me a motherfucking request for money because I literally didn't pay that 100 like a couple of days ago like I usually do, but I planned on paying it like next week. I didn't communicate that with you because we weren't communicating. Like, we literally, that's how I knew there was an issue, because I felt a way but I didn't voice it and I didn't really show it. I didn't give her no bad. I was still, like I said, I was still helping her with all the baby stuff and all that stuff, so it wasn't like I was mistreating her or giving her bad ways. But I could feel the tension and the energy like from her. I don't know if she was mad that I was still like leaving and doing my own thing and stuff like that. I don't know what it was. I don't know if Isis and Dejanay was putting shit in her head. I don't know. But the tension was bad. So we didn't talk from when we left the airport at all. Like, even when I was sending her the money, it's not like she was responding to the cash apps and saying thank you or none of that. But obviously she was receiving it because she was counting, because she sent me a request for the difference. So you get what I'm saying? So she was obviously receiving it. So I sent her a reply back with $1, and I was just like, I literally told you I would pay you by the week. And she sent me back another request talking about, oh, yeah, but you didn't pay last week. And I'm just like, girl, because I couldn't pay last week. And she was just like, what do you mean? You know, I have a kid, I'm waiting all that money, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, girl, you didn't give a fuck how you was spending when we were out in Puerto Rico. Like, you didn't care nothing about that. Like, you wanted this expensive ass trip. I don't know if you wanted to do get back at your baby daddy. I don't know what this was about, but it wasn't the gag you thought it was. Because you cost us both money, and now you had a horrible trip. Because I see she wrote that on Instagram like, oh, that trip sucked. But it was just like, what did you want me to do on this trip for you? You came there with your baby. You didn't want me to touch your baby. You didn't get yourself ready for the trip. You didn't have nothing. You didn't come with nothing. The girl didn't even come with soap for herself. Everything packed in them suitcases was for the baby. Which is good because you're a good mom. But there are also moms who really go through a certain type of postpartum where they forget about themselves. It's like, if you're not good, how is your baby going to be good? Like, you got what I'm saying? Like, you got to at least make sure you're good. Like, you're bathing, you're eating, you're keeping yourself together mentally, physically, all that stuff. Like, you can't just give 100% to the baby and nothing to yourself, because you're not going to have 100% to give to the baby continuously if you're on empty tires. She was also talking about how tired she was and stressed out, but it's not a situation where there are so many people out here who don't have their BDs and wish they did have family support, BD support, the father of the baby in the life. You have all of that. You guys are just not getting along right now. So I can't tell people how to quarrel or co-parent, but girl, you're not at a disadvantage. You're putting yourself at a disadvantage. You're putting stress on yourself for no reason, because you're making it personal when it's about the baby. Let the baby be with its dad. Let the baby be with your family. You trust your family, right? It wasn't a situation where you didn't trust these people. So, I don't know. I digress on that. I don't know. I digress on that. So now that she sent me that request, I felt mad disrespected. So I was like, I'm not about to keep talking to her through Cash App. What is this? So I text her. So I text her like, yo, my launch, like at that point, my launch was literally a week away. And I was promoting my launch forever. And this is what I didn't like about these group of friends. Is because, not even group of friends, but even my family. Everybody always want me to make them something. Oh, Sarah, make me something. Sarah, I want you to make me something. Whenever I'm doing something, whenever it's regard to my brands, these people don't ever promote, don't ever share, don't ever like, don't ever repost, show no love, nothing to my shit. Nothing, ever. That's why I cannot wait until I really have a nice, supportive tribe. So I can really show these motherfuckers, like, I don't need y'all support. Because it's really cringy to even think about how much I slaved on this machine for certain people who wouldn't even repost my brand. And I say that to say is like, you seen like the dress that I made for Mobay in such a short time frame for free. For the free. Using my Fabric Connects, free labor, all of that in such a short time frame. And my brand thing is coming up and you can't even support me. I just came from a trip with you. Girl, you would not have been able... Because me and her started going back and forth a little bit. It wasn't nothing crazy. Like, we weren't cursing at each other or nothing like that. But we were kind of discussing the situation. And she was just kind of like, you sound like, oh, you sound like you didn't want to come on a trip. Then you should never came. I'm like, it's not that I didn't want to come on a trip. I'm a little disappointed that I made the effort to come and support you. And that's the type of, like, behavior that you kind of had. Like, you didn't give a fuck about me on this trip. Literally. You didn't care about my pockets. You didn't care about me. You didn't even communicate with me half the time. By the time I woke up in the morning, you were on FaceTime with Deharasnyc and Isis. By the time I went to bed, you were still on FaceTime with Deharasnyc and Isis. And you know they don't fuck with me. You and your AirPod. Literally ignoring me in a room that we're sharing together. You don't even want me to touch your kid. So it's like, I know it's your birthday, but it's like, girl, like, you have not been able to go on this trip by yourself. Who the hell was going to help you carry all that shit every single day? Who was going to help you carry that? Who? You are not going to be able to do it by yourself with that kid. 3 flights of stairs, bro. We're talking about 6 flights because it was the round stairs. So a flight this way and a flight that way and a flight this way and a flight that way. And we're on the top 3rd floor. So who was going to help you do that? You would have been stuck in that room every single day. Like, what are you talking about? Like, just the lack of appreciation for me was just, I felt like it was disgusting. And I just felt like, here I am again, being used to fund and go on somebody else's trip. I'm just the +1. Deharasnyc and Isis didn't want me on this trip so bad, but they didn't have no issue spending the past 3 days on the phone with you every single day knowing that I'm there. Like, just weird. Why didn't just come on a trip with you? Because it seemed like you would have enjoyed yourself a lot more with them. So, like, why did you drag me here? Why did you go ahead and just purchase my shit? And y'all probably wondering, how did she have my information? Remember, we were friends for 15 years. It's not the first time we trade information. I know her exact birth date and her full name, just like she knows mine. So now, me and her is going back and forth in the text. We're not, like, arguing on no, like, you know, bad arguing, like cursing each other out. We're just literally talking about the situation, but we're both clearly upset. So I was just like, girl, you know, my brand is launching in a few days. You haven't asked anything of that. You haven't reposted it. You don't give a fuck. You just hitting me up talking about where's your money, this and that and the third. Like, that's crazy. So she's like, oh, this is not the first time you've been sewing. Like, you always been sewing. Like, how many times you want me to say something about it? Oh, so 2 months ago when your baby shower and all that stuff, you were interested in my sewing then, weren't you? The fuck? Like, y'all. People will really, like, tell you how they feel about you. And the way you gonna have to just eat that, you be having to just wear it. Even after everything that I poured into her, I had to wear it. Like, where's all this coming from? I knew where it was coming from. Deharasnyc and Isis, because she ended up... That's how... I let her get the last word in. After she said what she said, I just didn't answer her no more. She was like, Deharasnyc and Isis told me it would be a bad idea going on this trip with you. And now I agree. And I'm just like, okay, cool. So right after we ended that little disagreement, she said that little slick thing that she said about Deharasnyc and Isis. I didn't even give her a conversation right back. I blocked her, and then I sent her the 100 she was crying for. I guess it's her money, so she wasn't crying for it. I sent it to her. I sent it to her via Cash App. And then I was like, yo, I'm going to send her the rest of her money and be done with her. I'm done with the friendship after that. So now I'm on Instagram. I sent her the last 100, so now I guess I owe her 241, I guess. So I'm on Instagram. My launch is coming. I'm posting whatever. I see her watching all of my stories on Instagram. Then I go on her stories and Shorty's throwing shade like, oh, mind you, she was never the type to do no Instagram shit like that. Oh, never again, blah blah blah. I don't know if she maybe felt like I spent all that money to do, like, remember I did like vlogs for my brand photo shoot and rented out place and doing all that. She's probably looking like, bitch, you couldn't give me my rest of my money and you sitting here doing all this stuff for your brand. And it's like, yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I'm doing. Exactly what I'm doing. Now you're gonna have to wait because you got very disrespectful with me. Now you're going to have to wait. And now you're trying to shade me on your Instagram for Dejanay and Isis to have tea about and all that extra stuff. Nah, now you're gonna wait for the bread. That's how y'all wanna feel about me? Cool. Now wait for the bread. Mind you, in my planner, I literally rearranged certain stuff that I had to pay for, important stuff. Before I even missed that week, I rearranged my money to be like, all right, I'm gonna do this, this, that, and make sure I get all this money to her by this, that date, blah, blah, blah. Like, all this was in sector. Like, you didn't have to come and disrespect me, sending me Cash App requests with messages like that and stuff like that. Like, girl, what is the Plex from? I came to your trip and supported you. Like, nothing happened other than me kind of going silent after a few days really warranted, like, why are you acting like this? That it is given like people's in your head. So after I seen her throwing the shade and she's not liking none of my launch stuff, she's not reposting, but she's watching every story, I just blocked her. And I literally remember thinking like, wow, this was the last piece of me and that high school tribe. And it was shocking to me because you gotta remember, this is a 15-year long friendship. Like, this ain't no little time frame. And I felt like the only thing that was holding me on was the longevity. But then I kept thinking to my head like, yo, I could only imagine so many things that I probably shared with Mobe and whatever, and she was always going back and just maybe discussing with Isis and freaking Dejanay, because the way them girls just still had hatred for me, like, I had to have been in discussion or somebody's viewing my page, because usually when you don't see people, even people that you don't like, after a long time, it's like you forget about them. Like, you don't hold that much pressure towards that person. So I was just thinking like, damn, like, I just feel like you never defended me. You was always upfront in my drama. I felt like it just kind of felt like, now looking back at the friendship, it felt like she was always laughing at me and not with me. Because even if, I don't know if y'all watched the last story time with my creepy online stories, I'm gonna post it right here. Remember that time I was discussing that somebody made a fake page and they had photoshopped my dad picture in a casket and all that stuff like that? When I was putting her on about that page, she ran to go see it. And she was laughing. I remember she was laughing. She thought it was funny. She thought it was funny. And I probably remember, like, she probably was, if she could laugh in my face, she probably dead went back to them girls and was laughing about it with them too. And I was just thinking in my head, like, is somebody violating me and it's creepy, and your natural response is laughter. And I remember I used to be like, why are you laughing? She's like, oh, you know I laugh at everything, but you really, now that I'm like at this point in my life and I've been doing a lot of like research on different things, I understand, like, naturally people don't just laugh at certain shit naturally. Like, even around the time where they were trying to assault me, RAP me, Goldie and them, she was on the FaceTime laughing. She thought it was a joke. And I remember she was like, oh, I didn't know they were serious. But it was just kind of like, why are you always laughing at stuff that's very serious for me? Like, you front row center in all my drama, but never dare to defend me. And when heinous stuff has happened to me, you're laughing like it's a joke, and you use the excuse that you laugh at everything. And then the second we went on a trip, you got irritated for some reason. I don't know if it's because I started giving the silent treatment. I don't know what it was, but you turned mad weird. So, y'all, basically, the reason why I needed your point of view is, after I blocked her and I was irritated by the way she treated me, because you gotta think about it. Girl, I was cooking for you for your pregnancy. I had a long relationship with you. I've been giving her mom Not saying that I'm counting that, because whatever I did for her mom has nothing to do with her, so I'm not even gonna say that. Fuck that. Fuck what I did for your mom, because I fuck with her mom. But I'm just saying, like, the way I've poured into you as a friend for all these years, there's so much other stuff that I've done for her and her family that I'm not even going to sit here and repeat, because that's not the point of it. That's not why I did it. I'm just bringing it up to say, like, damn, I didn't think that you were going to turn around and move with me like that. Especially after I just did a whole free gown for y'all. Y'all saw that gown. This gown is not no cheap gown, bro. This is not a cheap gown. I hand sewed most of that gown. I lost sleep for that gown. I rearranged my schedule for that gown. I lost out on money, because time is money, for that gown. So I just felt like for you to even like treat me like that, it was just, I don't know, it was off-putting. So I didn't give her the remaining $241, and she requested it a few more times after, and I ignored her. But yeah, I kept just thinking that she was very rude about it. And I know it was her money and I'm supposed to give it back to her. And I'm not saying I'm not going to. But when I was talking about it with one of my mutual friends, they were like, bitch, you should keep that shit for your labor for the dress. Since bitches want to act stink, the fuck? But it's like, I used to make free dresses for all the bitches. Even Goldie got a free dress. Like, she got a few free dresses. And my friend was like, it's kind of your fault, because you sit here giving out free dresses, free labor. Like, girl. And I'm like, I know. But my conscience is saying, just give it back. Like, I felt like, yeah, all right, I held on to it. I probably held on to it now. The last conversation we had was probably like 2 months ago. So I held on to it for like 2 months. So I could give it up now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm conflicted, because my friend gave me that other insight. So I'm like, should I keep it for my labor, or should I just give it and done with it? Like, so depending on what y'all say down in these comments, I'm either going to send her a Cash App for the remaining balance of the $241, or I'm gonna keep that for my labor and charge it to the game. So y'all, yo, my story times be so long, y'all. And y'all, I'm not even done this outfit, because I'm actually making 2 of them. But at the end of the video, I'm still going to add the outfit, because of course I'm gonna finish it tonight before I even edit this video. But what I wanted to say before I keep sewing, because I'm about to do a long stitch right now, what I wanted to say is I don't know how I feel about this situation, because it's different from a lot of situations I've dealt with. I usually deal with like haters, envious, drama. I don't usually deal with like cryptic stuff like this. But I also know I get moody, so maybe I was showing a little attitude. I don't know. I'm not always right, but I'm reactive. Not saying that my reactions are always appropriate ones, but 9 times out of 10, if I'm like reacting in a certain way, I was provoked. So I'm still working on my reactions, but that's where I'm at with it. And I just feel like, I don't know how I'd feel. I feel like, honestly, I feel like if I sent her the remaining balance, I would feel like bitches got to grease me and violate me and treat me any type of way, and I'm still sending them bread that honestly bitches should have paid me for my services if they were going to treat me like that. And then another part of me is like, if I don't send it, then I'm always feel like I owe the bitch. You get what I'm saying? And I don't want to owe nobody. So honestly, I probably just send it. I don't know why I asked you for your point of view, because I probably just end up sending it. Like, that's where I'm more leaning towards, but I was conflicted because my friend was like, no bitch, keep your money for your neighbor. So I was seeing it from 2 point of views, and I was like, you know what, let me ask my tribe, because y'all already be knowing what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what the fuck is going on. So, but this is the story time I wanted to bring to you guys, and it's a long one as usual. And I'm kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this setup of like sewing. I won't know how I feel about it until I'm editing, because usually the editing is like the moment where I'm like, why the fuck did I film like this? So let me know though, because I can change the setup. I can, like, right now my Juki is right here, but I'm not using it because I usually use it on heavy duty. Like I said, I'm using my Singer right now because I'm making swimsuits. But you know, I can show y'all more of the process and really get into this designing thing with y'all, because I'm really tapping in. Like, I'm really about to make all the stuff that I haven't finished, all the stuff that I have designed. I have a rack, y'all, a rack full of mad stuff right now. Like, let me see if I can show y'all a little bit of stuff. This is like a custom pleated skirt. This is gator skin, y'all. So I had to do this on a Juki because sewing this is no joke. And I wanted to do like a fairy odd pairing, so I got the pink attached. I wanted to do like a real Y2K slanted skater skirt. I gotta line it and everything, but these are custom pleats. Like, this shit is no joke. This shit's like a lot of time to do, like, literally. So I have this that I'm working on. It's like gonna be like a fairy godparent type of pixie skirt. And I did a similar design with this like Coach fabric. I actually have a few designs that I'm designing in Coach, and it's kind of similar to my Dior skirt. I know I'm going off topic, but this is so cute. Look at it. Look at the stitching on this. Like, I'm talking about, this pleat is no joke. I really want to finish this because I want to do a whole ensemble for this. And one more thing that I probably would show y'all is my denim tier bikini that I'm actually going to add on the website sometime this week. But using like the denim, this is not finished, but using like the denim tier fabric, I tie-dyed it and stuff, and I embellished them with diamonds. And these are like all going to be like bikinis. Like, I have a picture in me in the denim tier set right here. So this is it. And y'all see I'm making for the big tatas. You know what I'm saying? It's the big tatas. So I have sizes for everyone. I know y'all want to see me design a lot more, and I'm hoping that now that I left that stupid ass job, I can really do that with y'all, because I think it's going to be exciting for me to really sit here and create with y'all and start doing design videos and stuff. But nevertheless, y'all, I'm going to end off this video here. I'm still going to show y'all how the outfit comes out at the end of this clip, but my camera is dying, so let me just make this quick. Like I like to say, follow my Instagram. I'm going to add it right here. I added it throughout the video. But you guys, if you're not going to do anything else, like, comment, and subscribe. Leave me y'all point of views down below. And if you're not going to do anything else, make sure you do what? Pour into yourself, pour into your motherfucking self. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Thank you for sewing with me today. Bye. So about an hour later, I finally finished the design, and I need to find a name for it because the original is called Furkini, but now that I added some bling, maybe Furkini Icy or something like that. But let me guys, you guys let me know how you feel about this design in the comments, and let me know some cool names that I can kind of add to it. But yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.